life, how we know it, started in the Neolithic Age. Did you know that without this time period, Elias couldn't play with these animals in barn? And I couldn't read him this book. And the saddest part of it all, Old MacDonald wouldn't have a farm, because up until this point, people lived like this. They were nomads. They moved according to the herd. They moved to find the grasses and the berries and the plants that they needed. But some serious things began to happen. And believe it or not, as you'll see in this next video, life gets terribly exciting. Okay. And I just got that clip off YouTube. And watching people farm might not be breathtaking right now. But did you know that farming was one of the changes that sparked humanity on the course to what has led to today? So from the Paleolithic Age until now, some big changes have happened. Let's see a few. One of the biggest was domesticating animals. And what that means is something that's very common to us today. We have cows in pens. We have pigs in pens, sheep in pens, horses in pens, dogs in our house or around our house, cats in our house. We have so many domestic animals now. It's normal to us. But during Paleolithic times, their animals weren't tame. They were wild. They moved freely. There were no fences in the Paleolithic society. This wasn't used to prevent these from leaving. And it seems so simple to us, but back then, this was a groundbreaking change. What if we put the animals in a pen and let them reproduce so we could eat a lot and we had a steady supply of food? That's one of the biggest changes. Another one also deals with domestication. But did you know that you can domesticate something other than an animal? You can tame plants. Primarily wheat at first. But they discovered that if they would sprinkle some of the seed on rich soil that got enough water, that crop would grow every single year. No more chasing the animals. No more following the plants and finding where they were growing. Instead, they grew them on their own. Now, let's say that people started to live in one spot all year permanently. Let's say that their animals were in a pen and their plants were growing right by them. Well, now not everybody has to find food. During the Paleolithic Age, the men hunted and the women gathered. But with their animals in a pen, because they're domestic, and their crops growing near them because they're domestic, could some people afford to not hunt all the time? Of course. So just like today, people began to work on other things. And that's called specialization. All of you one day will specialize in something, whether it's a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher or a mechanic or an accountant or a professional athlete. Whatever you choose to do is going to be your specialty. I'm not good at a lot of things, but somebody is, and if I need help fixing something or correcting something or figuring something out, I know that experts who have specialized in their trade or their job can help me out. So during the Neolithic Age, people didn't need to focus so much on survival. They had plenty of food. They had time to do things that they were interested in. Perhaps carve, perhaps make clothing, perhaps do things artistically. So, if you have a steady supply of food, and you can continue that, and you can continue that, and you can store some up, eventually, and it took a while for it to look like this, but eventually you're going to have plenty, just like you see here. Lots of cereal, lots of other stuff. I actually think I see some pre-made pie crusts, which look pretty good. But we have plenty. I'm not afraid of running out of food. And slowly Neolithic people experienced the same thing. They had plenty of food. And this is called a surplus. When what you need is in such abundance that you have plenty and you don't need to worry about finding more, then what you have, as you see in this picture of the grocery store, is a surplus. So some serious things changed. Some big things changed. It's up to us to make sense of that, and it's up to us to remember that, but more importantly, it's up to us to see how the way we are and the way we live started right here in the Neolithic Age. Thanks for watching.